What's going on, everybody? I'm Josh with Combat Sports Today. I'm joined today by UFC veteran Julio Arce. How's it going, my man?
Really well, really well. Enjoying a nice weekend here.
Yeah, a long Labor Day weekend. Hopefully, getting to chill out, hang out with the family.
Pretty much. That's the way it is. Nothing better than that.
And congratulations on your last fight against Shayman Moraes.
Yeah.
Butchered that name probably at the Victory Fight League's inaugural event.
Yeah, it was surreal. Really awesome what the event they held, Times Square. It couldn't have been written better.
I mean, talk to us. How did that come about? How did they approach you with that?
So they reached out to me a couple of times, and then they ended up reaching out to my manager. I was supposed to fight Francisco Rivera, and then I guess the New York State Athletic Commission didn't approve it, whatever the reason was. And Shayman stepped up and took the fight. And then main event, Times Square. And I got to get got my win, I would say my revenge on him. But yeah, man, I got my fight back from him.
I mean, that has to feel good, getting that fight back from that one in the UFC. I mean, does that feel good, getting one back on somebody? Talk to us about those emotions.
Absolutely. Listen, he's a very dangerous opponent. And our first fight, we all know how that one went to a split decision. It was a freaking crazy fight. And, going into this fight, I'm like, man, he stepped up. He wants to fight. I'm like, let's run it back. It's an opportunity. And to do it in a main event spot on Times Square under the lights outside, which was actually pretty awesome. They did an amazing event, especially for, I guess I don't know if it's their first time doing this, but went great. And he stepped up, and I got to get my win back from him. It was very surreal, especially where it happened, everything, how it all went down. So I'm like, you know what? I give him respect for that, for taking that fight and stepping in there.
Yeah, being in the Times Square, that has to, fighting there just has to be just so surreal and just totally awesome. Just, how many people get to say they've done that?
Exactly. Not a lot. I think we pretty much made history there, being the first people to main event in Times Square, like right in the center.
Yes, I mean, that's a great thing to add to, the accolades of your illustrious, career.
Yeah.
Give the people a little background information, real quick. You're 20-6. I think you had 5 submissions, 6 KO TKOs in there. 2017 Contender Series winner. UFC vet, went 6-4. The Ring of Combat bantamweight and featherweight champion, and Tiger Schulman head coach and owner.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a lot of accolades, and then to add into that, main eventing in Times Square.
Yeah.
So add that into
the
that.
trilogy. I got to win MMA in New York, win the Golden Gloves in New York, and win a Glory kickboxing fight in New York.
Yeah, so it's just incredible accolades. We just talked about all this that you accomplished in your record, and you being an owner and a head coach. When exactly did your combat sports journey begin?
It started when I first walked into Tiger Schulman's. I was just someone looking for, I guess my thing. And my older sister Kathy brought me into Tiger Schulman's, and I kind of fell in love with it. Started doing jiu-jitsu, kickboxing right away, and I was just there every single day training. It was just like every time I'm like, oh, what else can I get better at? What else can I get better at? It's like I always just wanted more from training, and then I guess just through time putting in the work, my coaches felt, hey, why don't you try competition? So I did a couple of we have the in-house tournaments called the Challenger Champion within our Tiger Schulman's, the organization, and competed there. Did a bunch of jiu-jitsu tournaments, and I was watching a bunch of my teammates who were doing amateur boxing, kickboxing fights, and I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. But at the time, you had to be 18 to be able to actually fight. So I had to wait till I turned 18. The moment I turned 18, my first fight was an MMA fight, and then from there on, it was just the rest is history.
And so you just knew you were going to be a fighter from day one. It's just something you've
Yeah,
always wanted to do.
it just grew in me. And I would look honestly in the beginning, I was just trying to lose weight, try to get myself in shape, you know, not defend myself because I was a 13-year-old who got picked on. And next thing you know, I'm like, yeah, I love this fighting stuff. Let's keep doing it. And I just loved it ever since.
And like you said, the rest is history. You've been
Mhm.
at it a while. Said, a UFC veteran, you've reached you're in the biggest league of them all in MMA. And, your last fight with them was a win over Herbert Burns. And, we got to address the elephant in the room. You had the issue on the scale, but, prior to that, I think you had an injury. You were scheduled to fight Cody Garbrandt and had an injury. Is that something, that nagging injury kind of affected that weight cut? Or
Listen, I just take accountability. Like I made my mistake in it, and I ended up like, because regardless of what I say, like no matter what, it's like you miss weight, and I got that under control, and I was able to now just get back into fighting. And look, because I was supposed to fight Cody Garbrandt at 35, I tore my ACL during preparing for that fight. Then when I healed up, went to go fight Herbert Burns, and let's just say, like towards the end of the weight cut, you make one mistake and then it costs you, and then I ended up missing weight. That's it, plain and simple. But got that under control, and now like we're back on it.
you went out on a win, and it was, the issue with the scale, get brought back in pretty quickly, after, a great win like you just had. Is that something that you're looking pretty soon to get back into the UFC, or has there been any talks about that from your release or anything?
Well, that's what I'm looking forward to, looking towards is getting back in there. Look, as we all know, it's like we all start to kind of hit that point where the window starts to close. And if I'm going to do a one last run, I want to get back, fight, win, get back into the UFC and do that last run.
Yeah, and are you looking to try to get back into the cage this year, before the year's end?
I definitely want to get back to the cage this year, at least get another win before the year ends, and then start the next year off right. Look, I'm 35, and I don't have much time, so we gotta get the ball rolling.
If an MMA fight does it materialize, would you be interested in something like dirty boxing or karate combat? Because Brian Battle kind of had the same issue with the weight scale. He got cut, and he just had that first round knockout in dirty boxing.
I want to do like karate combat would be one of them. Dirty boxing, I'm not sure about that, but I did want to try just regular boxing. Just lace up. I did do the Golden Gloves, and I won the Golden Gloves. I have boxing experience. Might as well go test myself there. I know they did like a show, Misfit Boxing. I would do that too.
Yeah, I mean, they had a bunch of former MMA guys. I mean, Tony Ferguson, Darren Till, Luke Rockhold. So, I mean, things you could slide right in on a Misfits card, with all those other guys.
Yeah, man, I'd be down for it.
Something I got to ask about, leg wrestling champion. I was scrolling your Instagram, and I think you guys in your gym were like doing some leg wrestling. Is that something you're trying to get going?
Nah.
The next big takeover, leg wrestling.
That was just for fun.
It seems like you guys are having a blast with it.
Yeah, it's like everyone's just trying to figure out what to do. We're like, all right, let's just do this. And then we just made a video and just kind of, we did just for fun.
I enjoyed it. It was, the lighter side of, MMA and, of you guys and things of that nature.
Exactly. We have fun. It's not just all fighting. Everyone has like the things they like to enjoy on their own and do. But when it comes down to it, then when we gotta lock in.
Yeah, you got to have the lock-in time, but also the fun time as well.
Exactly.
And being a coach and you've been in the game for so long. What's one piece of advice you'd give your younger self that just walked into your gym wanting to be a fighter?
I think that if you're gonna do it, commit to it fully, not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And if you're gonna go about it, it's like, listen, no shortcuts.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely
There's gonna be
can't be.
disappointments in there, so it's like you got to be ready for that.
Yeah, be ready for the lows because they're going to be just as low as they are high.
Exactly.
And I got a couple things that are kind of outside the fighting game. What's a hobby or interest that you have that might surprise people?
Um, Listen, I love food. I mean, if I can go food tasting, you know, like how people like do like those like Instagram videos of food taste and all that. I mean, I would do it. If I can just go eat whatever I want, absolutely. Um, Now listen, I'm like your average kind of chill guy, you know, nerd status, love playing video games, hanging out with my dog, walking around, just everything just very low key and simple.
Like, what's some of the games you've been playing recently?
Right now, I'm all about playing Elden Ring Night Ring. It's so much fun.
I'm gonna have to check that one out. I'm just now getting back into the gaming world, so I'm like trying to ask people, get some recommendations on some games.
Yeah. And I know, look, listen, I know Nintendo just came out with the Switch 2. So if they take out Super Smash Brothers for the Switch 2, I definitely get it. But I know they took out a new Mario Kart game, so that's always fun.
Yeah, Mario Kart's always fun. I remember the OG Mario Kart from back in the
Yeah.
day. You said you were a food person. If you could recommend one restaurant in your area, what restaurant would that be?
Oh, there's just a lot of them. There's just a lot of them. Right now, I've just been all about just sushi. Me and sushi's I've just been like on a sushi spree going everywhere. So there's this place called the Karu that has it's in like Roslyn that has amazing sushi. It's a great mix. Everything's delicious.
It seems a lot of people have been on the sushi kick lately. A couple people that I've interviewed have been on the sushi kick. My wife has been wanting to eat sushi a lot lately. So it just must be that time of year.
It is.
Sushi season.
Listen, you can't go wrong with sushi. It's like, you know, they have a lot of different rolls, a lot of different stuff, but you can eat healthy or unhealthy sushi. It's still delicious.
And what's one food that you miss the most while you're in camp and cutting weight?
Oh, I love sweets. So anything like with chocolate, you know, cake, whatever it is, cheesecake, anything that has to do with sweets, something definitely you definitely miss through fight camp. So you like watching videos on Instagram or on TikTok about just all these places that hold these amazing sweets, cinnamon rolls. That's one.
Oh yeah, cinnamon rolls are like one of the best sweets ever.
There was one time that I think they were, I think the Whole Foods cinnamon rolls were like the hot thing, and I got like about 5 boxes of that and just had them for just like a week straight of just massive cinnamon rolls. It was insane. It was great.
Oh, that sounds amazing. We have a little local place here that their cinnamon rolls are like the size of my head. And
Ah,
they are like delicious too. Like it's not just like a gimmick of like they're big and like taste not good, but like they're big,
it's
they
both.
taste are delicious.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
so
what I'm talking about.
ever down in the San Antonio area, shoot me a DM. I'll shoot you that restaurant with that cinnamon roll if you're ever in the
Ah,
area.
definitely down for it. I always want to take a trip to San Antonio, visit all of Texas over there. That's awesome.
And you could always jump in on a Fury card, down here in Texas.
Yeah, I think my teammate Robert Barricchio, he might be having a fight in Fury pretty soon. So if they ever go down to San Antonio, they offer me something, I'll take something there.
Yeah, I mean they are coming back to San Antonio, I think October 17th. So that card I think is
Mm.
still coming together from my things on the social media. So, just saying.
Hey man, they offer it. I'm down for it. Again,
Awesome.
trying to get these fights in.
Yeah, got to get them in, get a busy year, get back into the UFC. What is the most overhyped TV show in your opinion?
You know what? I honestly, like, for me, I haven't really kept up with any of like the TV show. I think Love Island's like a whole overhyped show. Yeah, I think you remember back then they used to have like Real World and Road Rules and stuff like that
Yeah.
on MTV. It's the same thing. They actually used to have better shows.
Yeah, so it's like a worse rebranding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see
Pretty
a
sure.
lot of the posts, but I haven't like checked it out just because I'm like, I don't know. It just seems a little too much for
Yeah.
me. Go on and say the most overhyped TV show is Friends. The
Hmm.
show Friends, overhyped.
Really?
Don't see the appeal. I never got it.
You know, when people tell me like they saw The Office or How I Met Your Mother and they say it wasn't funny, I'm just like, I question you because those shows
Yeah,
were amazing.
yeah. See, those are hilarious shows, but Friends is like it's like I just don't get the appeal. But maybe that's just a lot of people love it. I got a lot of friends that when I'm like, yeah, that show's not that great, they just come at me with like the pitchforks and daggers and things.
I hear you.
Last thing to kind of wrap things up, do you got any training partners, sponsors, friends, loved ones you want to give a shout out to real quick?
Listen, always thank you to my family for supporting me the way they have. And this journey is never easy for anybody taking the fighter journey. My team, Tiger Schulman's, my strength and conditioning at TNT, Coach Nick and Garrett, my PT, Dr. Brian Kokolak, who's been keeping me in one piece, able to keep training, every day strong. And, I got a bunch of teammates with a lot of big fights coming up and a lot of possible, people who get into the UFC or just a lot of prospects. So, keep an eye out for a bunch of people. I have, of course, you might have heard of Robert Vericchio, this kid, Christian McCauley, got Ricardo Fuentes, and a bunch of up and comers, a bunch of Amis who are going to go pro eventually soon. So keep an eye on them. The team is growing, the team's getting better, and we're only going to keep going straight to the top. And we also got my team is I got my teammate Jimmy Rivera, Mike Trezon, and Louis Gowna. They're going to be repping in Bare Knuckle October 4th in New Jersey. So if you're in the area, come out, come and see them October 4th, Bare Knuckle.
And can't wait to see those guys compete in bare knuckle. And can't wait to see Rob's fight announcement coming up soon, and all the up and coming guys you mentioned.
Yeah, man.
Us guys here at Combat Sports Today will definitely be keeping an eye on them, and look forward to having them on eventually.
Definitely, definitely.
Thank you again, and I appreciate your time. And you have a great rest of your Sunday.
You too, my man. My pleasure. Appreciate it.
Awesome.